Hi, fourth graders. This is Miss Kovarik, and we are on Unit 7, Lesson 3 today. We're going to continue looking at that chapter we read at Lesson 2, and we're going to look closer at those boycotts and protests that were happening in the colonies. So first you're going to reread or listen to the chapter again. So you can either watch the video and listen to me read it again, or you can go ahead and read it yourself. So Chapter 2, Trouble is Brewing. Go ahead and play that video or reread this chapter on your own. Pause me and come back when you're done. Now that you've reread the whole chapter, we're going to look at some idioms. So an idiom is a phrase. It's one of those figurative languages that we learned about in poetry. And it is a phrase that does not mean exactly what they say. So here's some examples. If somebody says they're going to go hit the hay, they're not going to go hit the hay. They're going to go to bed. So it's a saying that means something different. Eat crow, that's a saying that means you're admitting you made a mistake. Pie in the sky, that is a saying that means that something you hope will happen, but it is very unlikely. A couch potato, you probably heard that one before. Someone who sits around and watches too much TV. It's not a literal potato, but it is a popular saying. It's an idiom. A bad egg, that is someone who behaves in a dishonest way, not a spoiled egg. Bent out of shape is a good one. That is to be annoyed about something. So these idioms do not mean exactly what they say. So we're going to look at some idioms that were in the text, and you're going to tell me what you think they mean. So the first one is took their frustration out. So what does that mean? If someone is taking their frustration out, what does that mean? They're not literally taking their problems and going outside. What are they doing? Number 2, every bit as unfair. This doesn't mean that we're taking every little piece, every little bit. What does this mean in this sentence? Every bit as unfair. Number 3, the idiom we're looking at is to keep an eye on. So read that whole sentence. We're not literally putting our eye and placing it on something. What does it mean to keep an eye on? Number 4, the idiom is poured into the streets. We are not taking a bucket and pouring things into the streets. What is happening in this idiom? Number 5, the idiom is pressing in on. So we are not taking our finger and pressing in on something. What is happening in this sentence? All right, for number 6, 7, 8, and 9, you're going to put these facts in order. So they already did number 1 for you. The British fought and defeated the French in the French and Indian War to gain control of land in North America. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 other events that you need to put in order. So which event happened second, third, fourth, and fifth? And I'm going to go ahead and read them so you can put them in order. So we've got Parliament passed the Stamp Act, taxing colonists to raise money for Great Britain. Great Britain was left with enormous debts after the war and needed additional funds to maintain new lands it acquired from France. The colonists protested the Stamp Act with meetings, pamphlets, and petitions to London. The colonists felt the Stamp Act was unfair because they had no representation in the British Parliament where the laws were made. So you're going to put those in order, second, third, fourth, and fifth. All right, and we're going to do a little bit of word work at the end of our reading today. So we've got the word accurate. Accurate means without mistakes or having the right facts. So here's an example of a sentence. Sam gave accurate answers to all 10 of his math problems. That means he answered them all correctly. He made no mistakes. So I want you to give me an example where it is important to use accurate information. So any example where you would have to be accurate. Number 11, what part of speech is accurate? Is it a noun, verb, adjective, or adverb? Number 12, which is a synonym of accurate? Remember, synonym means similar words, same meaning. An antonym means the opposite meaning. So remember, the definition is here. Give me a synonym, same, and an antonym, opposite. All right, and we're going to head over to skills. So for skills today, we're going to talk about cause and effect again. So remember, a cause is why something is happening. The effect is the result. The effect is what happens because of that. So here's an example. Thomas did not feel well this morning. That is the cause. The effect is he did not go to school today. So we gave you some examples here. You're going to read the sentence and you're going to tell me which the cause or the effect is. So the first one says, Great Britain needed money due to its enormous war debts. Which one is the cause? So which one is the why? Parliament passed the Stamp Act because the British government felt the colonists should help pay for the war, which is the effect. Since the colonists had no representation in the British government, they felt the Stamp Act was unfair. What is the cause? So what is the why? The last one, the colonists felt the Stamp Act was unfair, so they protested the Stamp Act, which is the effect. Make sure to refer back to that anchor chart. Look for those key words to tell you which is the cause and which is the effect. All right, and for your last question today, you're going to write me a paragraph, which is at least 3 sentences, and you're going to use your own words and details from the text to explain how the French and Indian War led to the Stamp Act and protests. And there are a lot of clues up here in your sentences, so be sure to go back there and see how the war led to all of these protests and all of these taxes to be implemented in the colonies. And I also gave you a little chart here to help you with some transition words and cause and effect words. So make sure you use some of these so that you're letting the reader know what the causes are and what the effects are. All right, as always, get on Zoom if you need any help, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, 4th grade.